All right, people, I'm back. You see, I've got Batman on. Today's episode is going to be a 2 to 3 part series of talking about the opposite sex. It's going to be leading into the season finale of how to tell if a woman in library, at work, or at school, or at gym is an undercover super freak. Today's episode is going to be a very special episode. I appreciate that 83 people tuned in yesterday to go see my video having sex with foreign women and how to date them. Today is going to be a similar video, and I suspect I should get a bigger views than yesterday. And I have a title for this one: Sex Robots. I'll repeat: Sex Robots, Money, and Sports. Now, we got to talk about sex robots because not too many black men on YouTube are interested in talking about sex robots. They're in there talking about basketball and football. They're in there talking about fast conspiracy theories and crap like that. They ain't there talking about pickup game, but ain't no one really talked about the math and the science of sex robots. So I thought I'd give it a shot and open your mind to new possibilities. Now, see, I think somewhere between in the year 2020, maybe possibly the year 2025, the market's going to open up with sex robots. Now, before I start talking about the good stuff, what happens if a man has sex with artificial intelligence, let me talk about the possibilities of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the long run of sex robots. See, the first thing that I think is going to happen to the society is a lot of people are going to start losing their jobs. Picture this. You go to work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Imagine a world where when you go to a bus stop or you go to the train, whether you live in Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Canada, anywhere in the world like that, right? And eventually you get sick and tired of bus drivers doing crap like this. You ever been on an MTA bus here in Los Angeles, California? I know you black people have been on the MTA bus and a bus driver decide, I want to go to the bathroom and go take a piss. Or I want to go get me some cigarettes. Or I want to get me some cigars or a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi. And you be looking at your clock like, motherfucker, I'm going to be 25, 35 minutes late messing with you. Get your ass back on this bus and do your damn job. And the bus driver be looking at you like, I was hungry. I was thirsty. Now imagine if a robot replaced a bus driver. You would never have to be late to work ever again. Imagine you get rid of the train operators. You will never be stuck in traffic riding the train ever again. You know how people always call taxis and Ubers and they always come 45 minutes to 50 minutes late? Or if you try to get a Lyft or an Uber, a lot of times they'll call and say, oh, I changed my mind, I'm not going to pick you up. Even though you got $150 to give the Uber or the Lyft, oh, I'm not going to come, I'm trying to get laid. Imagine a robot replaces Ubers and Lyfts and taxi drivers permanently. You will never get to your destination late ever again. So from that standpoint, it's good to have robots to do certain jobs that people are too lazy and obnoxious to want to do. That will make the job market go from as low as it can go to as high as it can go. Because then people will start taking these jobs real serious, just like that at the drop of a hat. So the first effect will be men will lose their jobs because artificial intelligence will be 10 plus 10 plus 10 would be 30 times more sufficient than humans. Now, I know some men may not want to hear the truth, but you've been on a bus and you've been on a train more times you can count on your fingers and toes, and you've been in situations where you thought you was going to go to this nightclub at 8:45, 9:15 at night, and the bus driver gets you there at 10:30, quarter to 11 on purpose. Well, artificial intelligence will make it where that never happens ever again. Another good advantage that would help us with robots is what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, high school and college. You know how people always complain, the teacher don't like me, the teacher always gives me the wrong grade. Well, imagine if a robot was your math teacher or your English teacher. Do you realize what would actually happen if a robot taught math, English, history, science, PE? Do you know what would happen if a robot taught business administration? You would see a huge success rate in the next 5 to 10 years if that was to actually happen. Students would no longer have to worry about does a teacher like me or don't like me to pass a class. Most students complain, I get C's, I get D's, but with a robot, you would probably still get a C still. The only difference is you wouldn't be doing so much work to get a C. You know how you say, if I can understand that if I was trying to get an A or a B, I can see why I got to do 85 to 95% of the workload. But if I'm trying to get a C, I shouldn't have to do a whole lot of work to get a C. Well, a robot replace a high school teacher or a college teacher, that actually would be very interesting to see, because then it will make teachers stop using favoritism to favor certain students. The robot would basically do what the teachers failed to do. Teach everyone the same exact way. If you get a C, that's what you deserve. If you get a B, that's what you deserve. If you get an A, that's what you deserve. Another way that robots can help us. You know how some people are lazy when they go to gas stations, right? Well, imagine a world where you don't have to get out of the car to put gas in your car. There's already robots at the gas station that could put gas in your damn car. All you gotta do is get your ass out and go to the gas station and pay $15 to $20 or 15 to 20 cents of gas, and the robot will take the gas pump and put the gas into your car. Just like that, gas stations would probably still make money. So gas stations would probably still be around 50 years into the future. Businesses, I think some businesses would probably profit from this, because you know how people don't like answering phones, right? So they call an automatic system. But a lot of times it doesn't work all the time. But imagine if a robot picked up a phone and said, I'm the next available agent and I can help you pay your bill. Just imagine if you could get a robot to help you pay your bill just like that. You won't be spending 25, 35 minutes on the phone arguing with people because they send you a bill that costs $200, $300, $400, $500 cash, and you losing your damn mind and you're pulling your hair out like Homer Simpson. The next thing that would probably be good is washing your car. A lot of people do not like to go to car places to wash their cars. Imagine if you had a robot that washed your car for you. Now, you still would have to pay money to get your car washed, of course, but it would help you. Or imagine if you go to a Food for Less, a Target. Hold on. Sorry about that, people. Can't stand when we get people, trying to dig in people's trash cans and stuff. But back to the video. Imagine if you go to Target, Best Buy, Food for Less, and instead of always having to go to the cash register, you have robots that help you find what you're looking for in 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes, just like that. Get you in, get you out of the store. Now, this might affect the mom and pop stores. This is where we go from the good to the bad. This might affect the mom and pop stores. This might hurt high schools and colleges if the teachers are using favoritism to favorite certain college students. And you see, what would be good about robots coming in and teaching you math, English, history, and science, business, and PE is that you'll be able to learn much more and pay attention more because the robot's going to see everything you do as a human being. And you see, the robot will be able to catch every little thing you do. And the teacher usually likes to do favoritism. That would stop all that favoritism bullshit. Like, it would stop it dead in its tracks. And the teachers would have to take their jobs very serious. The taxi drivers will be infected because they always come late or they don't want to be in the mood to want to do something. And a robot will do its job regardless. It's like that movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. For those that are born in the 2000s, I know you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but if you was born in the 70s and the 80s and you know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is, there was a movie called Total Recall where they had robot taxi drivers. You notice in that movie, people got to their jobs on time and they never came late. Well, imagine if we started doing that. Another thing that would be a big help to us, you know how people can't stand when water department come out and want to check your gas and your meter? Imagine instead of a human being doing it, a robot came to check your gas. You would never have to worry about, oh, I'm scared to go into the backyard. You got dogs. Well, a dog can't do nothing to a robot. So imagine if a robot that looks just like a man or a woman came into your backyard and checked your gas. You know how easy it'd be to get your gas checked regardless if you have dogs? That'd be a huge helping hand. Same thing with the meter. And then let's see what else we could do. You know how we always have airplanes fall out of the sky, right? Well, imagine a world where we have, not all, but some airports start having what they call robots, robot pilots that would fly airplanes as a science experiment to see what is better. I guarantee you with a robot flying the airplane or having a robot onto an airplane with an air pilot, you might cut down the dangerous risk of airplanes just falling out of the damn sky. And it'd be the same thing with ships and cruises. You know how a lot of people love to go on a cruise ship, right? What if you had a robot pilot with a human pilot that can monitor when something dangerous is on the horizon? That would be very helpful to us. Now that I got the science fiction and technology stuff out of the way, now let me get to the best part of it. Because I know you guys are like, hurry up and get to the sex already. I have to get some history in here. I got to get to some stuff about what would happen. Now let's get to the sex with sex robots. Now, sex robots is like a new phenomenon. It's cutting edge technology. It's technology based. It's something that's going to be here for the next 50, 60 years of humanity. So by the time we get to 2020 or 2030, expect the market to open up and expect multi-billionaires and millionaires to buy sex robots. One of the problems that we have in today's society is that women always accuse men of false rape and sexual assault charges. And whether these men actually did these charges or didn't do these charges, they still get in trouble. Imagine if a robot came in and fixed all of those problems. Do you know exactly what would actually happen if you had a sex robot that a man could go to for sex? I guarantee you that there will be no more false rape allegations, no more sex assault charges whatsoever, because then men can't go to jail for having sex with a robot. Now, of course, this will make women angry and furious, but think about it. How many times we have to look on Channel 7 News or Fox 11 News and see multi-billionaires and multi-millionaires always apologizing because they're so powerful and masculine that they want to express themselves sexually, but they can't. With a sex robot, you get to do that plus then some. Now, this will also hurt the porn industry. The porn industry will be seriously affected by this. Instead of them making $2 billion, they would go from making $2 billion to making probably $90,000 or something, because then a lot of people be like, you know what, if I have sex with a sex robot, there's no sexual transmitted diseases. I can't catch AIDS. I can't catch HIV. I don't have to wear condoms no more. So now the condom industry takes a hit. they start to lose money and revenue. Because if people are not buying condoms for protection, then the condom industry loses millions of dollars. The porn industry loses billions of dollars. Strip clubs and nightclubs takes a big financial hit because now men don't have to come to nightclubs and bars and strip clubs anymore and waste 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 on women that have been screwed by hundreds of other men if you got a sex robot. So that's where the good comes in with a sex robot. However, there is going to be some bad with the sex robot. You may have a sex robot that looks like Charlize Theron or Scarlett Johansson of your traditional celebrity crush. You know, every man's got a Hollywood celebrity crush. Don't act like you don't, you do. Some men like Beyonce, some like Selena Gomez, some like Jennifer Lopez, some like Halle Berry, some like Scarlett Johansson, and you might want your sex robot to look just like the women that I just described. Now, the porn industry will take a hit, strip clubs and bars take hits, nightclubs take hits, and the condom industry would take a hit. Because now men would see that there's no reason to go to these places because they always lose their money. And you see, even prostitution itself would be challenged like never before. And black women would be on the worst end of this. Like black women would be like, okay, it's bad enough we got to deal with white women to compete. We got to deal with feminists. We got to deal with transgenders, and then we got to deal with foreign women. Now you throw in a sex robot. Now you got black women upset because now they got something else to compete against. So now competition goes up all the way to a 20. Instead of a scale from 1 to 10, it'll be a scale from 1 to 20. Now the competition is so competitive that it's hard for any woman, black, white, or Latino, to compete against a robot. You know, and then men will like it because they can't get arrested. They can't go to jail. So then your prison system suffers. Now you can't send men to jail for child support. Now you cannot send men to jail for getting married to multiple women. And you see, that's probably why the government has not put this into the market yet, because they're not quite sure what will happen. But the stuff that I said actually would happen, I guarantee you in 20 to maybe 40 or 50 years into the future, what I just said will actually come to fruition and will actually take place and manifest in its truest form. Now, a lot of people say, man, you're talking science fiction. You've been watching The Terminator too much. Yeah, I probably have been watching The Terminator too much. But a lot of these movies are already showing us a future where that's actually possible. You know, you've seen Blade Runner, right? The new Blade Runner movie. You watch Guardians of Galaxy Part 2, right? You saw in those movies they were having sex with sex prostitutes, robot sex prostitutes. So technically, you're not going to get rid of prostitution. You're just replacing it with a robot. Now, if you watch Ghost in the Shell, you saw that in there in the movie too, even though Ghost in the Shell was a poorly executed movie. My point is, you saw sex robots in that film because it was futuristic. If you watch science fiction fantasy films like Terminator, Terminator 2, RoboCop, you're kind of seeing what the future holds and what is going to happen in the next 20 to 50 years. Now, sports. Let's get on to sports. Imagine a world where you watch professional basketball in the NBA or the NFL as in professional football. You know how athletes get pissed off at referees, right? This would be a big advantage for sports. Guess what? You know how people always complain, oh, the referees cheated for LeBron James. Oh, the referee cheated for Kobe Bryant. Well, guess what? If you get a robot referee to help the real referees, you will never see a basketball game get messed up ever again. Now, of course, people might say that's not a good thing, because then all the people who pay all their hard-earned money to see a team win would actually benefit from that. Yeah, they probably would benefit from that, considering the fact that a robot referee will be able to tell if someone made a touchdown accurately or definitively. A robot referee will be able to tell if a basketball player hit a three-point shot before we get to 0-0 and the clock goes red before the game's over in the fourth quarter. That will be the difference between winning a basketball game and losing a basketball game in the NBA playoffs. More and in the NBA finals than anything. That will be the difference between winning a Super Bowl or losing a Super Bowl. Same thing goes for the Olympics. A lot of times when you watch the Olympics, there are so many athletes that have so much pressure on them to win at a competitive level that a lot of times they can't tell if they won or lost in this sports event because the referees could see one thing and then the camera sees something else. That's where a robot referee would come in to help sports. Our sports would be managed, but you would still make, instead of making billions of dollars in the NBA and the NFL, you make trillions of dollars in the NBA and the NFL. Now with sex, the thing with having sex with sex robots, it cuts down on sexual transmitted diseases. You don't get no more AIDS, no more HIV. You don't go to jail for sexual assault or rape. And it cuts down on all of that. And now the news media might complain because they won't have nothing fun and exciting